The person that came from the farthest away to be with us, a true shero in her own right. She is the founder of Make Love, Not Porn, and If We Ran the World. So I said the word porn. Everyone is probably feeling nervous now, but let's talk about it. What is the difference between what is depicted on porn and the love and the intimacy that occurs between partners in real life? Is there a big difference? Yes, right? So her initiative is trying to bridge the gap between what porn teaches us and how intimacy really occurs, right? And if anything, we know that in India, that's a big problem. Our young people are learning about sex because there's no sex education via porn. So she addresses this in her initiative, MakeLove.porn. She'll talk about it. Also, if we ran the world, when we closed our eyes this morning and imagined the future of work and imagined a world where we can fully take part, she's been talking about this for a long time. She is incredibly outspoken, another truth teller that we're bringing to the stage. I am so happy to welcome her to the SHEROES Summit. Cindy, if you'll join us, a big round of applause for Cindy.
Guys, I'm honored to be here. I'm especially thrilled because I've been a very big fan of SHEROES and SHEROES for a while, but this is my first opportunity to experience what SHEROES is all about, and I am absolutely blown away. To be here at the SHEROES Summit is to be at the epicenter of real transformative change for every woman in India. And I am just in awe of everything I've experienced so far and everything I know I'm going on to experience for the rest of the afternoon. I'm also thrilled to be here because diversity drives innovation. Diversity not just of gender, but of race, ethnicity, sexuality, disability, age, but obviously gender cuts across all of that. And so we as women are crucial to the future, especially because, as I like to say, women challenge the status quo because we are never it. I regularly say to companies, if you want to do one thing to set your company on a more innovative, disruptive path right now, it's really easy. Take a long, hard look at your business. Identify every single area within it that is all male or male-dominated, change that. Just doing that one thing instantly sets you on a more innovative, disruptive path. And so I'm here today to talk to you about how every single one of you in this room can redesign the future of work and the future of business to create a far better future for yourselves. And by the way, when you do that, you're going to be doing men a huge favor. We live in a world where the default setting is always male. Men, you have no idea how much happier you would be living and working in a world that is 50-50 equally informed, influenced, designed by all of us. And the reason this is so important is the entire conventional corporate structure that every one of you is working in today, whether in a big company or in an organization or a startup, was designed, built up, and predicated on the concept of the housewife. For centuries, in every single country in the world, the way the corporate world works is built up on the assumption that it would always be men who went to work, and there would always be a woman at home taking care of everything else. Today, everything has changed, but the corporate structure hasn't. And so this is where I take issue with Sheryl Sandberg, who I'm otherwise a very big fan of, because Sheryl wants us to lean in within the existing system, and I want us to redesign the system. And by the way, I will admit I'm biased. The best way to do that is to start your own business. People make the mistake of thinking a job is the safe option. It's not. In a job, you are at the mercy of management changes, industry downturns, marketplace dynamics, whose hands would you rather place your future in? Those of a big corporate entity who at the end of the day doesn't give a shit about you, or someone who will always have your best interests at heart, i.e. you? Now, I'm biased because I do want you all to start your own businesses, but I know that there are many of you in this audience, in jobs, working in big corporations, and everything I'm going to go on to talk about, you can take action on regardless of your situation, whether you work for yourself or somebody else. So, I live my own philosophies, and this is a philosophy that my startup, If We Ran the World, is built around. I believe that change happens from the bottom up, not the top down. Every single one of us, every single day, taking micro actions, tiny, small, easy to do actions, designed to change what we want to see change, cumulatively add up at scale to enormous impact. So, I'm going to give you several micro actions today, every one of which you can start doing the moment you leave this hall. And when you take them, they will change your career and your life. And the very first micro-action is the very simplest micro-action of all. This micro-action is really easy. Every one of you in this room can take it. It requires no special skills, talent, expertise, but this is the single micro-action that will most dramatically transform your career and your life going forwards when you take it. And that micro-action is, say what you think. No, really. Say what you really think. Because we don't. Honesty is enormously powerful in business because so few people are. Telling the truth is very endearing because so few people do. And the thing about this is, your unique value to your business is what you uniquely bring to the table. Your unique skills, perspectives, worldviews, if you do not articulate those, you are not delivering the value to your business that your business hired you for. And so you must say what you think, but the other reason this is really important is because when you say what you really think, you find out what you really think. We spend our lives as women being man-interrupted, mansplained to, beaten down, pressured, shoved into boxes, categorized, told with this, told with that. It is very easy as a woman to actually lose sight of what you really think. So start saying what you think. Find out what you think, because I can tell you that every single one of you in this room has a unique perspective on the business you work in, the area you operate in, the life you live, that has tremendous value that is not currently being expressed. And by the way, if you want to start your own business, that is where you start. And then, when you do that, I need you to start thinking about the way that you are going to redesign how you do business. And the reason this is really important is because you cannot do new world order business from an old world order place. All companies, even, funnily enough, tech startups, are old world order places. Because their systems and processes and structures are born of a time when the process used to be linear. So, for example, in my industry, advertising, the way it used to work was, once upon a time, first of all, you shot the big TV commercial. Then you shot the matching print ads. Then you did everything else, including that fun little thing called a website. Today, everything's changed, but the systems and processes and structures still haven't. It doesn't actually matter how brilliant you think any one of us on this stage here at SHEROES today is. It doesn't matter what inspirational thinking we are sparking in your brains right now. It doesn't actually matter what innovative, disruptive ideas any of you have as a result of today. If you go back to the office tomorrow morning and you plug all that brilliance, all that inspiration, all that innovation disruption back into the same old world order systems and processes, you get the same old world order crap out the other end. And so you must redesign the way you do business. And a really good, simple starting point, and by the way, guys, every point I make today is an entire presentation itself, but I've got a short time to speak, so I'm going to rock it through. But a really good starting point is identify what it is that you really love doing, what you're passionate about. If you're in a job, be ruthless. Strike from the record everything you hate doing, focusing only on what you love. And by the way, interestingly, when you do that, quite often what you love doing is not necessarily numbers 1, 2, and 3 on your job spec. Then identify the conditions in which you most love doing it. So you might go, I love this, I'm passionate about this. I especially love it when I only do it between these hours. I really love it only working with these kinds of people, these types of clients. Maybe you love it when you only do it from this one location or these 2 locations. And then design an opportunity, a job, a venture around those 2 things. Because then it doesn't feel like work. Because you're doing what you most love doing in the circumstances in which you most love doing it. And when you redesign the way you do business, a really good starting point also is just to ask yourself, in that vein, how would I like to work? And this next point is really crucial, and this is a point we've had some discussion about already today. I want you to redesign the way you do business around parenting. Note, I do not say motherhood. I say parenting as something both genders do equally. And what I mean by this is, I don't mean stick-on solutions. I don't mean, we added a creche. We added flexible working hours for mothers. I mean literally, we need to redesign business from the core around the fact that parenting is something that both men and women do. And we've had some discussion of one principle about this that didn't drill into the depth I'd like to go into briefly now. Because, and I know there are varying opportunities for maternity leave in India as there are elsewhere in the world. But it's critically important, as the point was made in the panel earlier, that what we have is gender equal parental leave for both halves of the equation. Mother and father, and ultimately, by the way, mother, mother, father, father, however it works. But the reason that's especially important for mother, father, is when you have a certain amount of maternity leave, and maybe 1 week's paternity leave or none at all, what happens is that the mother ends up taking full responsibility for everything to do with the child, and the father may want to help out when he can, evenings, weekends, but he doesn't know what has to happen. He doesn't know where the socks are. He doesn't know what your child does or doesn't like to eat. He doesn't know what time they take their nap. And it's a lot quicker to go, that's okay, I'll handle it, than have him futz around doing it. When you do not have equal parental leave, from the moment of birth, the father does not understand everything that has to be done for the child equally, and that sets up an inequality of parental care and share of housework and domestic duties that persists all the way through for the next 18 years. And that is fundamental to how men and women see their roles and how society sees their roles, especially, by the way, in India. And so that's the reason to design business around parenting. But there's a very important point to make here as well. I have never wanted children. I don't have any. I've always known I wasn't a mother. Thank God I always knew that before I found out the hard way by having them. I have never wanted married. I've never married. I date younger men, casually and recreationally. I don't want a relationship. I cannot wait to die alone. And I'm very public about all of this. I'm very public about all of this deliberately because we do not have enough role models in our society for both women and for men that demonstrate you can live your life very differently to the way society expects you to and still be quite extraordinarily happy. However, redesigning business around parenting also benefits those of us who aren't. I picked up this quote on Twitter yesterday. from Sarah Lacey, who is the editor of Pando Daily, which is a big Silicon Valley tech blog. Sarah said on Twitter, when you become a parent, you learn to bend space and time. Actually, more strictly speaking, when you become a mother. But the point being, when you redesign business around parenting, you redesign a business world focused on results, not process. On efficiency, not how many hours you spend in the office to be visible, to be seen working, so you get that promotion, your boss thinks highly of you. Again, I could go into all of this in a lot more detail, but when we redesign around parenting, we redesign more efficiently and we design out working nights and weekends and the burden of work in ways that none of us want to have to deal with, men and fathers included. And when you do that, you also need to redesign your business model, how you make money. And I say that because I observe people thinking, even when they start their own business, either this is our industry business model, this is the only way we've ever made money, it's the only way we can make money, or they think there are a set number of business models and we have to take one of those. Neither is true, because your business model can be anything you want it to be. And in fact, a really good starting point is, ask yourself the question, how would I like to make money? Because it's a safe bet, you'd like to make it not in the way you're making it now. So start from that point and design your own business model. And it's really important you do that, because I want every single one of you in this room to set out to make a lot of money. And in fact, if you'll forgive my language, the way I normally say this is, ladies, I want you to make an absolute goddamn fucking shit ton of money. Need the question, they won't talk about it. When